Welcome to Trumps Talks. We're gonna shut this off. Reloaded because why? We're not doing small, weird fucking political issues. We're doing real ass life. Now available on YouTube, not this episode, but in the future. And also right here live on Twitch. You know where we at? Trombone No Vowels. Because that's the username that I found when I was like 13. Because trombone was taken on everything. So today we're going to be talking about the friend zone. Air quotes, heavily included. So I've been doing browsing, basically. We're just doing browsing of like social media. And there's been a lot of these, like, the female perspective of the friend zone, right? And it's just, like, the fuck zone for them. And, like, that's shitty. And anyone that, like, would feel like that's obviously a shitty situation. We should look to avoid that. I don't love that. It's kind of like, it's a complex issue, right? And it's something that I felt like I had an hour's worth of time and thoughts just to, like, talk about it, right? So, like, let's break it down a little bit. So, I'm just, like, another white fucking bi dude trying to tell you relationship shit because, like, mansplaining, duh. But, like, I've been in the friend zone, right? Friend zone. This place where you're not in a relationship, but you're pretty fucking, like, open and honest with each other. You have, like, that deep personal connection. It's something that we got, and, like, it sucks, right? Where was I? I am tangents all over the place, but that's what Trumps Talks is going to be. Why? Because it's conversational. It's conversational, because we're going to have a conversation. But, like, so you have, like, this deep connection with somebody. You're talking, and from my perspective, right, you enter into this relationship with somebody, and, like, it's not a romantic relationship, it's just a relationship. 29 weeks of basic and AIT, so your AIT is, like, what, 19 weeks? Holy fuck, 4 years of service. Also, friend zone is BS. Exactly, my guy. Ari gets it. It's a whole lot of bullshit. Why? Because at the end of the day, you enter into this relationship with somebody, right? No terms of it being, like, romantic. There's none of that implied. You don't have to enter into, like, a romantic relationship when you enter into a relationship with somebody. Like, it goes deep, you have that connection, but, like, who's to say that, like, it needs to be a romantic relationship, right? Who needs to know that there needs to be, like, sex involved or, like, any of that? There doesn't. Because everybody has the freedom of fucking choice, okay? Like, if someone doesn't want to be with you, it doesn't mean they're putting you into some kind of zone, right? It doesn't mean that they're, like, isolating you and you only, and you're this outlet but not that, and they hate you, and, like, it's weird. Like, just the notion of the friend zone is so fucking crazy, because it's not anything bad, right? It's just, like, acknowledging that another person isn't for you, right? They're not your person. They're not meant, you know, that's a relationship that they don't want. And that's where it should end, right? And that doesn't mean the whole relationship. It doesn't mean everybody has to end. And I get it. Like, guys, or gals, I am a dude that has been in that situation a lot, right? And it's nothing terrible or toxic or bad. It's like the connotation that you put on it. And I get it. Like, wanting to remove yourself from that situation, you have every right to do that, right? I don't think anyone, like, the backlash for someone saying, hey, you shouldn't want to be in this if you don't feel like it's justified. Like, that's also not okay. Like, I get it. Can't say the friend zone is bad. Or you can't say the friend zone is bad because, one, it doesn't exist. It's just someone that doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. That is totally okay. Two, you have a right to leave that relationship if you don't feel like the expectations and boundaries set are for you, right? And, like, I don't think because there's two sides to that coin, right? There's like women being like, oh, they just want to fuck me. One, probably not. They haven't made an advance on you. So like that's not the main core of this relationship. Two, means everyone I know I'm in the friend zone with. Oh my god! Everybody. Yeah, like, dude, it's just like, it's a relationship, right? It's a friendship. It's something. You're having that connection with somebody and you value that connection. If you don't value that connection because you're just friends now, that's an entirely different issue. Like, there's some personal work that needs to be done, and I can't tell you how that needs to go. But, like, you have the right to leave that if the expectation's set and the boundaries aren't clearly defined, right? To reassess, reset where you want your boundaries to be, and then re-enter. And if they don't want you in your life after that, like, that's whatever. Like, that's fine. That's completely fair. It is what it is. But, like, obviously, these are all very obvious things that I'm saying right now, and I want to break it down into, like, more of a personal level, right? Because I feel like, personally, as a dude, there are not a whole lot of people that I enter into, like, friendships, relationships in general with, where I feel like I can connect with them on a really real level. Like, I can talk about real things and talk about dreams and aspirations and fears and personal doubts and insecurities and things like that. And I feel like there's just not that outlet. And, like, especially among dudes, right? Because, like, you're with your other friends, you're talking about, like, shit you're interested in and, like, events of the week, and it's already at that, like, that stasis level. So when you find someone that you're interested in and you start talking, but not only on that really average, normal, like, social interaction level, but then also go a little bit deeper, and you have someone that you feel like you can really connect with, when someone says that they don't want to take that into a relationship, that kind of stings, right? And now you think, like, there are some of those conversations that you can't share with other people. And there's a lot of fear involved, right? And, like, and all of this, and people branding it as the friend zone. And I'm not sticking up for shitty people, because there are shitty people out there that, like, use this notation of the friend zone as, like, hating on somebody that just doesn't want to have sex with you. But, like, I think there's a more broad community of people who get in this friend zone, and they fear what they're gonna lose, right? Because you have a deeper connection with somebody, and you're afraid that them wanting to be friends with you is, like, rejection of you in its entirety, right? Because, like, you have that deeper connection, you've been talking on a couple different levels, and now that's just, like, a rejection of you. Like, I don't want to spend more time than I have been with you. Like, I don't jive with what you've been giving me. And that's completely fair. But think about it. We look back a little bit. I don't really know where I'm going with this. It's just kind of like word jumble at this point. But, like, there's fear involved, right? Like, I know when I enter into that kind of relationship with somebody that's not a person I'm going to find a lot of. And when they say, like, we're really good friends, I don't take, like, it hits personally. It doesn't hit on a level of, like, we can continue to do this. I see that we're connecting, and I think we should keep it at, like, that friendship level. And I want to know, like, where that disconnect is, right? Like, personally, like, everybody else, my fucking soapbox preachy bullshit aside, like, I want to know why. Like, why do I fear losing all of that connection when someone's like, no? And like I said, I feel like it comes down to, there's not a lot of people that I connect with on that level. There's a few, but very few. And, like, someone else saying that they don't want to be in that kind of communication and, like, further that communication, that stings, right? That stings. It sucks. But at the end of the day, like, we're just trying to get along. We're just trying to get along in this world, and it's so fucking weird because, like I said, a lot of it for me like comes down to fear. Like, am I losing all of that? How much do I have to bring back, right? Like, what do I bring to a relationship that this person is seeing that they don't want? Because I'm already assuming if someone's putting me in that position, that there is something that I'm doing that's crossing a boundary of theirs. I want to know what that is, and typically that's not given, right? And I think lack of communication leads to this kind of thing, right? There's no clear set like boundary, expectation, conversation that's had, and it's such a healthy way to live your life, guys. Like, if you start a friendship with somebody, talk to your like current family and friends about like expectations and boundaries within your relationship. It creates healthier relationships, right? It's a furthering of that communication. Like, this is about what I expect, right? Like, on a human fundamental level, from my ex, and I drew an X, but everything I feel like is going to have a video component at this point. But, like, from X person, I expect X or Y, right? And like, my boundaries are, I don't want this person to do this. Y2K, everything's end. Anyway, but like, it's weird, right? And it's a really weird situation to be in. Like, I get that. And I feel like a lot of it comes down to a lack of communication, right? You have these conversations and there's not really an expectation or boundaries set. And I feel like maybe someone saying, you know what would make a good background during these talks? Some Subnautica. Perhaps. I haven't tried the Walking Talking podcast. I want to get this right, and my word salad is telling me that there's a little bit lacking. I went in with some talking points that I wanted to cover, and it feels like out loud they're coming out a lot more obvious, a lot more clear. So like, you fear the end of something, and that like you get into this defensive state, and that isn't healthy, guys. Like, lack of communication to begin with is pretty unhealthy. Like, if you don't go in and be like, all right, this is where I'm at. We're connecting, we're clicking at some level. I do want this to be a relationship. And like, what can come back from that is like, listen, I also value this, but I do not want to be in a relationship with you. And I feel like, just as adults, we need to be better at communicating within fucking relationships. You want to know why? Because like, saying I don't want to be in a relationship with you should be really easy, right? It should be something like, I don't jive with what you got going on. I think I'm good being single. I value what you bring into my life. I want to continue that. But like, as a potential partner, I don't see you filling that role for me and like being fulfilled from that role. So I guess what it comes down to is, kids, we need to communicate, guys. Like, we're not kids anymore. We can expect better from each other and ourselves, and communicating, being like, yo, this is where I'm at. This is what I think, and makes some of those rejections and those weird interactions different. Like, if we can just go up to somebody, be like, listen, I like the conversations we have. I would like to have many more of them at a lot, at many different times. I really value that. It should be as easy as, yes, I value that as well, but I think the current level is perfect for me. Like, think about how less that sucks than someone being like, yes, I too value them, but no, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. It's like, okay, so like, what now? Where are we going from here? What's happening from here? Because nobody really knows, right? Like, we all can do such a better job of fucking communicating. When it comes down to it, like, someone being like, nope, and no context, now you're thinking, all right, what am I saying that's too much? What have I done to like imply that this is the only thing I value? because I feel like together we do some amazing fucking things. Like, Twitch chat and, like, Twitch community, like, people, person to person, person to family, like, there's so many valuable connections that we make. And to have, like, that vague, ambiguous, and weird bullshit of, like, yes, no, I hate you, like, but, like it's nobody's saying they hate you. I don't know, it's just so weird, right? Because, like, I used to be a firm believer in the friend zone, chat. All right, like, my middle school, high school ass self is like, dude, I'm fucking awesome. Like, why doesn't people want to be in a relationship with me? Like, but what it came down to is, like, do they want to talk to me at all? Right? Because what I've been bringing is, like, the truest, best part of myself. And I want to continue to have that conversation and really explore that. So, like, you saying you don't want any part of that, what does that mean for me? What does that mean I have to bring back? Because this is me, right? And, like, none of it's like, I want to have sex with you so bad. Like, I can't live without having sex. And, like, none of it's like that. It's really innocent, right? It always has been for me. And that's why I think this revelation came, like, really easily. It took way more time than it should have, like, up to a year ago, plus. But, like, that revelation came really late. As to, like, what that means. And I still don't know what it means, chat. Like, at the end of the day, I have no fucking idea when, like, I am presenting myself to somebody and we're connecting on that level and they're like, yes, but I don't want a relationship with you. It's like, okay, I am bringing myself into this and I have no fucking idea what that means. Like, what boundary have I crossed that I can help not cross again? And it sucks, right? Because, like, nobody is willing, it seems, to want to communicate on that level. To say to other people, like, I value you. I value these conversations. I don't see myself having them in a relationship with you. I don't want to have them all the time. I think the current level is fine. I value you. However, this is something that I don't want to expand upon, right? Like, it's easy. It's so easy to communicate. Like, the difference between saying, nah, I don't want a relationship with you, and saying fucking something else, anything else, like, I don't feel like I should continue that in a relationship kind of sense with you. It's like a world of difference, and it changes that conversation, and it changes this whole friend zone dynamic. Do you feel the boundaries crossed are the reason most friend zone cases exist? That's oof. Do you feel like boundaries crossed are the reason most friend zone cases exist? I don't know. At the end of the day, like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there is so much that I have experienced from my end of the friend zone, quote, that, like, I don't know. I have no idea why these situations are created, what causes that next step to be like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Perhaps it's me, like, I love you so damn much. Like, I think I'm falling for you. They're like, nah, I don't think so. So perhaps. I feel like, realistically, attraction is the determining factor in 90% of cases. The majority of times, if someone enjoys someone else's presence at a deep level but doesn't want a relationship, attraction is the disconnect a lot of the time. I would like to think people are less shallow than that. Like, don't get me wrong. Attraction is an important part of a functioning relationship. And anyone that, like, it's cool. Like, I get it. More body positivity, more people being themselves. And, like, if you're unattractive to somebody, that's not your problem. Like, that's 100% cool. But at the same rate, like, relationships do have a better, like, healthier component with that as a part of it, right? Like, resenting somebody for their body is such a weird thing, and to, like, want to take that into a relationship is a weirder fucking thing. Because I don't know if, like, really attraction is the determining factor in 90%. Like, what's on the inside is such BS learning. What? So what's on the inside is such BS. Let me tell you. I disagree, right? Because, like, at the end of the day, if you feel like you got a lot going on and, like, your weight, your weird acne, like, things that are genuinely out of your control, right? Or maybe even things that are in your control. Maybe you're, like, I don't know, 30 pounds overweight. Whatever. And being at that level of, like, not overweight, there, like, first of all, there's so, like, the within weight standards is such a, like, it's such a uniform thing, and it's not designed with many people. Like, it's designed for a specific person, right? It takes, like, the average of people and takes what those average of people should be at. And there's a lot of outside factors. Like, are you just a built fucking person? Do you have... If I had a better complexion, I'd definitely be more confident and probably wouldn't be alone. Yeah, like, confidence is part of it, right? Like, there's so many different things that come down to it. And I don't think attraction is the determining the friend zone factor in those cases. I think a lot of the times it comes down to big things like confidence. Does it come down to confidence? Does it come down to, like, just who you generally want to be doesn't line up with what I generally want to have in my life. Like, you can be confident in that fact. You can look fine. Like, there is someone out there for you, right? If that's something that you value and something that you want, there's someone that will value what you have to offer day in and day out, and can't get enough of it. Like, I genuinely believe that there is a person for another person, everywhere. Like, is it going to happen instantaneously? No. Are you going to jump the gun and probably miss that person? Yeah, probably. But, like, I don't know. I feel like if you're enjoying someone else's presence, you don't want a relationship, you're talking at that deep level, a lot of it comes down to, like, super basic shit. It's like, who are you? Like, first of all, you need to approach every situation, like, with the confidence that you're approaching it in the correct way, and that the things that you don't enjoy, you will change, right? Because at the end of the day, like, maybe attraction is a part of it. Like, they're like back to my example, they're 30 pounds overweight, right? Not super unhealthy, but, like, getting down to that weight is a lot less valuable to them than eating the right things, pursuing their goals, like getting themselves in a healthier headspace. And what if it comes down to that, right? What if at the end of the day it comes down to, like, not a crossing of boundaries, but, like, I don't think that is something that I want in my life going forward. This person doesn't approach life in a way that I feel resonates with me at a very basic instinctual level. Like, that person is very good with what they're doing, right? Like, they want a better paying job so that they can buy a house and do what they want within their home and travel. You know what I fucking hate, chat? And you know what'll make me friend zone somebody so fucking fast is if they're like, yeah, I want to make this much money, I want to have this, I want to have this, have this. It's a lot of fucking haves. It's things that you want. Like, why? Why do you want stuff? What is stuff going to do for you? And I want to travel. Great. Why? What are you hoping to gain from those experiences? Do you want to travel just for, like, just to say that you fucking traveled? I want to see more of the world. Great. What do you want to see within that world? Like, if you are so, like, give me something. Give me something to fucking work with here, people. Because there is nothing that is going to make me shut your ass down so much faster than not wanting something from life. Right? I feel like people are that shallow, though, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean logically. If two people are great friends who connect on a deep level, what is the step between really good friends and relationship change that isn't linked to physical intimacy? Time around each other. Like, honestly, time. The link between connecting on a really deep level and physical intimacy, the link in between is time spent together. Familiarity. How much time are you willing to invest? Like, how do you value that person as opposed to everything else that you have going on in your life? Assuming that you're very comfortable with everything that you're doing in your life, that you are on the path that you think you can succeed, right? On the path that you want. You're setting goals for yourself, you're achieving those goals, you're doing things that make you happy, you're doing the things that are productive to you and make you feel fulfilled. So the time is like, now what would I be willing to compromise to spend more time with that person? And is that person valuable enough to cut any of these things? And if the answer is no, at the end of the day, I just want to be friends. I think this level of time, this level of intimacy is great. This level of time is great. Like, it doesn't have to be physical, because then I would need to invest more time. And quite frankly, I'd be willing to fuck you, but I'm not willing to spend that much time. Like, that's the middle link. Like, are you valuable enough in my eyes to spend more time with than I'm currently allotting? And what would I have to reduce to be able to spend that time with you? And is that relationship valuable enough to carry that? And, like, maybe you value it a lot, right? And maybe it's something that you value, but, like, there are certain instances, right, where I value streaming. I value you guys. I value being here. I value talking and having weird conversations and serious conversations. But, like, do I value you over somebody that I feel like I could really connect with, that I could, like, build a life with? No. I'm sorry. I love you guys, and I will continue to be, like, in connection with you guys, because I really value the relationship that I've spent and built with you guys. But if someone else comes into my life and I really want to pursue that, I'm gonna cut down the time that I spend here. Like, this, like, that's my barometer, right? That's my barometer for entering into a relationship. Is this person more valuable to me than wanting to stream at the current amount that I do? And if that answer is no, if they're not more valuable than the time that I want to spend here, then it's just not going to happen. And if they are, like, how much, right? Because this is, like, again, this is something that I want to continue. I want to continue to talk with you guys. Kyrian, I've fucking known you for almost 3 years now. Like, it's fucking insane. Ari, I've known you for, like, 6 months. Like, this is shit that is real to me. Like, you guys matter to me. And for someone to, like, take me away from that, they have to be pretty valuable. And if they want me to, like, cut you guys out entirely, that's also a no-go. Like, it's just what it is. Like for me personally, again, you guys are that barometer. But this is where I'm going to take time out of, right? Because it's something I value, and it's something I appreciate. But, like, working, sleeping, social life all have to find spots too. And those are really, really small sections right now for me, right? Like, I spent a couple hours with friends today. I work tomorrow. I'm gonna have some time with my cat after that before I start streaming. Like, there is time that I need to take out of somewhere, and it has to come from here. So that's why you guys are my barometer. And for other people, maybe that's something else. Maybe that's a hobby that they really enjoy, that they're spending, also like 16 to 20 hours a week on. But, like, maybe that's what it comes down to. Like, I value that, but do I value it enough to take away my time from something else? Right? Something that currently makes me feel pretty fulfilled. It doesn't have to come down to attraction. It comes down to time. And, like, sure, like, maybe you're attractive as fuck. And I don't care if you are attractive as fuck. If I don't connect with you, like, that's not happening. Like, if I do connect with you, but not on a level where I feel comfortable taking time out of other things that I enjoy, that's also not happening. And, like, I feel like it comes down to that, right? Like, people are trying to live their most fulfilled lives, And how important a relationship is within that is also different for everybody, right? Like, maybe you're super fucking chill, give each other a lot of distance. Like, I don't understand that. Personally, I need more than that. I personally need more than that. I need someone that's worth and wants to, like, take the time that I spend out from other things. How would you propose getting out of the friend zone? It doesn't exist. It doesn't. You don't get out of it. Either you connect with somebody or you don't. Like, maybe you're going to be in a relationship with somebody or you're not. Like, there's no way to get out of it, because at that point you're changing yourself, and are you comfortable with that, right? Are you doing it for the right reasons? Are you comfortable with it? And, like, why? What does that person bring you that you don't already have? And how can you get that without that person? Like, these are all things that you need to ask yourself, right? Like, how can I get that, what I'm getting, without that person? Are there ways that I can get that? And, like, if they don't see the value in it, then move to those things. Like, it's all about balance. Life is about balance. Getting out of the friend zone is a hard pill to swallow, in my opinion, mostly because in the moment, the answer to that question is not going to be something good to hear at the mental state you're in after being rejected. The short answer is the only one to escape the friend zone is better yourself, right? It's the only thing you can do, but it's super hard in the moment not to see that as I'm not good enough, which is why you're more often see people they weren't just the right person. Right. And that's another really shitty thing, right? Like, because us as people, I'm going to say men, because in general, this is where this whole friend zone bullshit comes from, is fucking men. But, like, I feel like it happens outside of it. But, like, just let's break it down. Let's just say dudes. Right? Like, someone rejecting you, like, I'm not good enough. And that's how it feels, right? Like, because it always feels like I'm not good enough. And maybe you're not. Maybe at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Is like, you are not good enough. Do you want to better yourself to get good enough? And, like, is that all it is from that person? Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of different factors that go into being in a relationship with somebody, and not all of it is like, is this person well suited to me now? Because I feel like if someone is going and into, like, seeking a relationship, and they stop at, like, this person isn't good enough, that's a person that doesn't want to grow with another human being, right? That person in themselves probably aren't set up to be in a relationship. So, like, you not being good enough means they're not looking for the right things, in my opinion. Like, for me, that person isn't looking for the right things, right? And maybe for somebody else they are, but, like, for me, I want somebody that I can grow with. I want somebody that I can connect with deeply, constantly. And, like, have you ever listened to the song My Sanity by Bad Religion? One of my favorite songs as of late. Does it pertain to this situation? If so, how? And perhaps I may listen to it later. If you drop it in Discord, then I definitely will listen to it later at some point. Give it a listen. So does it pertain to the situation? Maybe. You tell me. Oh, you bitch. You sneaky boy. I don't want copyrighted shit on my podcast, Ari. Okay? This is what the cool kids are doing. They're doing podcasts. And I can't, like, get copyright strict and, like, not have a podcast anymore, because then I'm not a cool kid. That's all I want to be. I want to be a cool kid. But, like, I don't know. It comes down to communication, right? It comes down to, like, boundaries and expectations, and it comes down to, like, what you're looking for in a relationship. Copyright strike on Twitch, Omega. No, but, like, I want to expand, Ari. Uploading this to the YouTubes, and then I'm gonna figure out how, like, podcasting platforms work and get it elsewhere, and, like, then you'll have my sexy voice while you're sitting in your barracks and you don't know what to listen to. You open up the podcast app and boom, there I am, Apple. Like, maybe you're not an Apple slave. I don't know. Wherever the fuck you else find SoundCloud. I don't fucking know. But I'm gonna figure it out. Anyway. But, like, yeah. It comes down to communication and, like, what people value. Like, that's what a relationship is, guys. It's value. And the value that person wants to bring. I want someone that's going to grow with me. I want someone that I can watch grow that may not be the person they are now, in the future. That's going to be a different person moving forward constantly. And as long as they are happy and fulfilled and not hurting somebody else in the process, that person is always going to be great to me. And yeah, I'm looking for someone that like I am attracted to. Why? Because again, I think that is an important part in relationships. Do I think it's the most important part? No. But it is a part, and it's a part that deserves recognition, right? But there's things that I value more than that in a relationship, right? Like, I want someone to change and grow with, and that wants to change and grow with me, and will accept what I'm about, right? Like, that can see my core, that can see that I'm looking to constantly better myself and the world around me without trying to hurt people, right? Like, without trying to, like, take something else away from somebody. Because, like, that's how it is. It's communication, it's about wants, and it's about, like, where you want yourself to be before you're in a relationship. Like, that's another huge thing for me, because I know that I want to be in a relationship, right? Like, someday that is a part of who my holistic self is, right? Like, my fullest fulfilled self is in a relationship, in a committed relationship with somebody. But, like, thinking about it, like, I'm thinking about kids, right? And, like, I don't want kids right now. And then I thought about, like, wait, okay, I don't want kids right now, but I perhaps want kids in the future. What is different between that? Like, what is the difference in myself now between the different in myself that wants kids? One of them is financial stability, right? Like, I want to be in a place financially stable where I don't ever resent another human being that I'm responsible for having to be responsible for them. I want that financial responsibility and consistency that I don't have to ever resent in any way someone that I produce and am responsible for, because I'm not in the position that I thought I wanted to be when I want kids, right? And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. I want to accomplish what I think I can't without kids, and that's progressing my career, progressing my life in a way that I feel like I can be healthier, mentally, physically, all of it. And I think people don't think about that before they go into relationships either, right? Like, I want a relationship someday, but, like, what do I need now that the me in the future with a future committed relationship doesn't have? And I'm closing that gap quick, because there's not a whole lot. Like, I want to be better rounded as a person, I think. Because, like I said, I value you guys. I spend a lot of time here, and that's not really a real well-rounded Troms, right? Well-rounded Troms gets out of the house more. Well-rounded Troms doesn't get burnt out on video games because he's out doing other things. I want to be out in nature more. Like, I want to take those trips. I want to be in a pup tent in the middle of some fucking nature reserve or national park, and just explore it and find revelations within myself about the world around me. Like, I want to be more well-rounded before I enter a relationship with somebody. That's what I need. And that's soon. I'm finding that balance. There's a level of financial responsibility between now and having kids that fits that well-rounded person inside. And I'm closing on that pretty quick. And I'm really excited for it. But I feel like that's a conversation people never really have with themselves either. Like, they want to be in a relationship, right? There's a lot of value that it brings to people. There's a lot of things that they can find that brings them more fulfillment. But they don't really think about, I want that someday, but, like, what do I need first? And I think that's really important. I remember specifically after separating with my last girlfriend who suffered with depression, I started seeing another girl with similar issues. There was mutual attraction, we connected, but at that point in my life, I just couldn't and didn't want to be in what she needed from a relationship. Yeah, exactly. Right? I feel like that's the shitty part, is, like, men are better communicators. Not always. Not fucking always. And not in every situation. Maybe in the relationship situation. Being bi, lot better experience with that dude that I didn't get with. than any girl I've ever tried to be in a relationship with. 100%. Okay? And maybe that's just a fucking fluke. Okay? Because I'm working with small numbers, right? You guys out here being players and shit, working with a law of large numbers. Troms, okay? Troms works in small numbers. We're looking like number of people I've had sex with, 1. Like, number of relationships I've had total, like 3. Like, we're talking real small fucking numbers here. Okay, so like, my data pool, super small. We got low sample sizes around. Exactly. Like, why am I talking about the friends zone instead of relationships? It's because, like, my relationship experience, fucking none. Fucking none. I'm a baby. All right, I got a lot of work to do, and a lot of experiences to have before I can even talk about any of that. Need to find yourself an Emily like Dave. She just lets that man stream with the boys for hours. I don't know though, you know, because that's. I want to find someone that like wants me to be in that situation, wants me to be streaming, but I also want to share that. Like, because a big part of relationships for me is sharing. Like, I'm going to want her on stream with me, talking to you guys. Like, I'm going to want her, like, playing what I'm playing and, like, experiencing what I'm experiencing. And maybe it's not for them, and maybe they decide, like, less. But, like, that's something that I want to share with somebody someday, right? I want to share my life with somebody. And that doesn't include just the parts that they like. You know, I'm going to do things that I don't want to do initially. And they're going to do things that I like that maybe they don't want to do initially. Like, that's important to me. Really important. Right? It grows people. Like, growth is experienced that way. Like, you find things, and maybe you find that you were right and you don't like it. That's fine. But maybe you find that there's parts of it that you like. And then maybe we can share that too. Because, yeah, independence is really important, but I think in a relationship for me, I want to share things, too. I want sharing. And, like, if you want to do your own thing, that's cool. That's important. Like, space, independence, super important. But I want you to, like, come back and share it, right? Talk to me. And I want to share, like, if I go out and I'm independent, do my own shit, I want to come back to you and share it. Like, and that's what I value. That's what I value really highly. So I don't know if a situation like that wouldn't necessarily be the best for me. Maybe. But, you know, there's more to it than that for me personally. And I think it's going to be a long time, honestly, before I find the person that I'm willing to share my life with. It's going to be a long time because my needs are fucking insane. Right? Like, I want somebody that wants to share that. Like, maybe you think it's boring. Maybe you had to be there. Like, you're not willing to share that story. Like, but, like, then that ain't it. I don't want that. Like, that's cool. Like, it's cool that you have your own time. But, like, I want to know about it. And I don't need to know every little detail and who you talk to and whatever. But, like, I had a good time. I did this and this and this. And it was really fun. This person did that, like, that was funny. Like, I'm not asking for a lot, but, like, it's above average. And I have high expectations of myself, and if someone else doesn't have high expectations of themselves and isn't willing to share up to a lesser expectation, then that's not going to work either. Best thing someone can do after dealing with rejection is firstly give it time, then reflect on yourself and figure out who your ideal self is and strive to become it. It's important to give it time so you become your ideal self, not who the person who rejected you wanted you to be. When you're at that ideal self, you won't worry about whether you were good enough anymore because you know you're exactly who you want to be. Yes! Yes. Fucking yes. And it takes time. And, like, that's a stupid, shitty cliche. Everyone's like, oh, time. But, like, that's the thing. Like, there's constructive time and there's destructive time. And I think after rejection, you need an important balance between constructive and destructive time, right? Because destructive time is so important. Guys, Guys, it is so important just to do something shitty. And my mic cut out. But do something shitty that's gonna make you feel great, right? Just smoke a pack of cigarettes, okay? If you don't smoke, probably don't do that. Nicotine's terrible and it ruins your life. But like, do something stupid and destructive a little bit. Like, hate yourself enough to do something that you hate, but would feel good. Punch a wall. Maybe not like a lot, but like punch a wall. And then fucking spackle that shit up again. Do something stupid. Just knock a fucking mailbox over. Maybe not like outwardly destructive shit, but like do something destructive. Eat a whole fucking gallon of ice cream. Okay, is that healthy? Is that good? Fuck no. Is it a good way to cope? Sometimes. Like, there needs to be a balance between destructive and constructive time. Because time on itself isn't gonna heal jack shit. Sorry. You can wait your entire life, okay? Because, like, I left my relationship in high school. And I was always told time, and it's the biggest cliche, and I gave it time. And you know what? 3 years of non-constructive time, what does it get you? Exactly where you were when you fucking left. Exactly where you were when you fucking left. Time isn't the answer. It's constructive and destructive time. Okay? Take that week. Binge fucking Netflix or Hulu or whatever the fuck. Just binge it. Eat a tub of ice cream. Eat 4 tubs of ice cream. Okay? But then after that, be like, all right, now let's see where I want to be. Let's see who I want to be. Like, how much of that destructive shit is me? If none of it, that's good too. Because, you know, it helped you get through that time. It made you feel good temporarily. But, like, does it fulfill you? Are you fulfilled? And it again, it's that balance. You can't spend all of that time eating tubs of ice cream and binging your favorite shows. It also has to be introspective time. Thinking, okay, who am I? What makes me happy? What makes me fulfilled? What did I value in that relationship that I found in myself that I want to take with? And what didn't I? Like, what didn't I value about the me inside that relationship that maybe I don't have to keep? Maybe I don't want to keep. And take it with you. Like, and make conscious decisions to find, again, it's about finding what you valued in it that you can find somewhere else. Because things fucking fail. Like, stupid, and we should do goddamn book club, but fucking looking for Alaska quote, everything that is built is also destroyed. And maybe it's through like a death when you're both old and have a happy, fulfilling life together. But what do you value that you can also find somewhere else? And that doesn't mean in another person. It means in other activities. Like, we went out a lot and outside and experienced nature. That's something that I actually really miss and really want to do more of. I spent time with my hobbies to cope or like just have time away from that person. Did I like those hobbies? Can I adjust those hobbies? How can I move myself? Like, it's not about finding what you're missing from that in another person. It's about what you can do to find that fulfillment elsewhere. And then the friend zone doesn't exist. It's not as important. You can have that conversation with those people. You can connect on that level, and you're not missing a relationship. You can probably find it somewhere else. And then it's finding someone that's also healthy enough to admit that if you're having like a deep connection with somebody else, that it doesn't mean that they aren't enough, right? Like, insecurity is a fucking bitch. And it all comes down to confidence again. But, like, yeah. This is something I was arguing with my friend over just the other day. I was advocating for allowing yourself to indulge and then having enough pride in yourself to always set yourself after indulgence, eat that cake, but then hit the gym, take that day off and binge Netflix, but also finish that term paper. Yeah, dude. Life is fucking, like, time doesn't do shit. It's constructive and destructive time. Like, destructive time is so important. Destructive time allows you to become a person for a short period of time that you wouldn't normally be. And that's so important. But maybe you find value in it, right? Like, maybe it's not in your long-term goals, but you find value in it in that moment. It helps you escape. Like, escapism is so important. Like, I get it. Escapism can be really, really, really unhealthy. Someone that's constantly trying to escape, that's unhealthy. That's bad. But, like, having a bit of escapism in your life, having 4 hours a week or fucking 8 hours a week where you just get the fuck away from everything that you are, everything that you're doing, and just doing something else is so important. Because if you value what you're doing, if you value where you're going in your microphone, then you're going to end up where you need to be. You're going to end up with who you need to be, and you're going to end up the most fulfilled version of yourself. It's really important. And, yeah. That was me ranting about the friend zone, air quotes, for like almost an hour. I appreciate you guys for hanging out and listening to it. For those of you on YouTube, hit that like button if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see more of this shit. And comment where else you want to see this on podcast platforms, because I don't have a clue right now. That's how we be. But that was Trom Talks. Thank you for listening to my incoherent babble of bullshit. And I'll see you later.